Welcome back to ZE Coins. Today, we're diving deep into one of those fascinating stories, the United States of America 1975 Jefferson 5-cent nickel coin. At first glance, it looks like just another nickel you might find in your pocket change, but behind its simple design lies history, intrigue, and the possibility of surprising value. Whether you're a passionate collector or just someone curious about coins that might be worth more than you think, this is a journey you won't want to miss. Let's take a closer look at the 1975 Jefferson nickel, a coin that carries not only the image of one of America's founding fathers but also decades of monetary evolution and mystery in minting. This coin, minted nearly half a century ago, is a quiet witness to an era of change, and today, collectors around the world search for specific varieties and errors that can make this 5-cent piece worth far more than its face value. To truly appreciate the value of the 1975 Jefferson nickel, we need to start at the beginning, with its design and the historical context that brought it into existence. The Jefferson nickel was first introduced in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel, a coin that had become difficult to mint due to its complex design. The new design, created by Felix Schlag, featured a more refined and neoclassical portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, or front, of the coin. Jefferson's image shows him facing left, with the word liberty and the motto, "In God We Trust," engraved beside him. The reverse of the coin features Jefferson's famous home, Monticello, with its neoclassical dome and columns, an architectural symbol of the third president's intellect and vision. By 1975, the Jefferson nickel had already become a long-standing part of American currency. The composition of the coin was a durable blend of 75% copper and 25% nickel, a combination chosen for its resistance to wear and its distinctive silver-like appearance. The coin had a diameter of 21.2 mm and weighed 5 grams, specifications that have remained virtually unchanged for decades. Now, 1975 was an interesting year in American coinage. It fell between two milestone years, 1974, the aftermath of the U.S. economic crisis and the Watergate scandal, and 1976, the nation's bicentennial year. While most coins struck in 1975 looked ordinary, they were minted during a time of great national reflection. The Jefferson nickel from that year carries with it a sense of transition, an ordinary coin struck in an extraordinary era. What makes the 1975 Jefferson nickel particularly intriguing for collectors, however, is not only its history but also its mint variations and errors. These small differences can make a massive impact on the coin's value. The coin was minted at 3 different locations in 1975: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each mint produced coins with distinct characteristics. The Philadelphia mint coins have no mint mark, the Denver mint coins carry the D mint mark, and the San Francisco mint coins bear the S mint mark. For everyday circulation, the Philadelphia and Denver mints produced millions of coins, ensuring that the Jefferson nickel remained widely available in commerce. But for collectors, the San Francisco mint released a smaller number of proof coins. Proof coins are struck using specially prepared dies and polished planchets, resulting in an extraordinarily sharp and mirror-like finish. These coins were never meant for circulation, they were created for collectors and sold in special mint sets. If you happen to find a 1975 S-proof Jefferson nickel in flawless condition, known in the grading world as PR70, or perfect proof, it can fetch a surprisingly high price at auction. Even minor blemishes can significantly reduce its value, but pristine examples remain treasures among coin enthusiasts. Now, let's talk about mint errors, the hidden gems of coin collecting that can turn an ordinary nickel into a collector's dream. Errors occur during the minting process and can take many forms: double strikes, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, and more. Some 1975 Jefferson nickels have been discovered with striking errors that make them incredibly rare and valuable. For example, a coin struck off-center or one with a die break across Jefferson's face can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on the severity and uniqueness of the error. Another fascinating variety comes from repunched mint marks. In the 1970s, mint marks were still manually punched onto dies. This process sometimes led to overlapping or repunched marks, where a mint worker accidentally punched the mark in slightly different spots. If you find a 1975 D nickel with a clear repunched D mint mark, you might be holding something much more valuable than a simple 5-cent coin. Condition is also everything when it comes to determining a coin's true worth. The grading scale, established by the Numismatic Guarantee Company, NGC, and the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, ranges from poor, P1, to mint state, MS 70. A circulated 1975 Jefferson nickel in average condition might only be worth its face value, but in uncirculated or high mint state, the same coin can bring a premium. Coins graded MS 65 and above are particularly desirable, as they showcase full details, sharp strikes, and minimal contact marks. Collectors pay close attention to the sharpness of Jefferson's hair, the clarity of Monticello's columns, and the presence of the 6 full steps at the base of Monticello on the reverse. Coins that exhibit all 6 full steps are known as full steps nickels and are especially valuable because they indicate a perfectly struck die. Finding a 1975 Jefferson nickel with full steps in high mint state is rare and can significantly boost the coin's value in the collector's market. Beyond minting details, what adds sentimental and historical value to the 1975 Jefferson nickel is its connection to American heritage. Thomas Jefferson, the coin's central figure, was not only the 3rd President of the United States but also the author of the Declaration of Independence, a visionary architect, and an advocate for education and liberty. His home, Monticello, remains a symbol of innovation and intellectual pursuit. Holding a Jefferson nickel is, in many ways, holding a small piece of Jefferson's enduring legacy. Collectors often see this coin as more than just currency, it's a tribute to one of the most influential minds in American history. Over time, the Jefferson nickel has become one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history, second only to the Lincoln cent. That longevity, combined with subtle changes over decades, has made each year's issue unique for enthusiasts. That if you're curious about how to determine whether your 1975 Jefferson nickel could be worth more than face value, start with a few basic steps. First, examine the mint mark. If it's an S, it's a proof coin and should be handled carefully. If it's a D, or has no mint mark, check the coin's condition. Look for luster, sharp details, and signs of wear. Use a magnifying glass to inspect the surfaces for errors, doubling, or unusual marks. If you find something that seems out of the ordinary, consider having the coin professionally graded. Professional grading companies like PCGS and NGC can authenticate your coin, assign it an official grade, and seal it in a tamper-proof holder. A certified grade can greatly enhance the value of a coin, especially for serious collectors and investors. Many people don't realize that coins like the 1975 Jefferson nickel, though common in circulation, can become highly collectible over time. The beauty of coin collecting lies in the thrill of discovery, the possibility that a small detail or unique error could transform a coin from pocket change into a rare treasure. Even if your coin doesn't end up being one of the high-value varieties, learning about its background connects you to an incredible piece of American history, and that's what makes this hobby so captivating. Every coin has a story, every mark has a meaning, and every collector holds the potential to uncover something extraordinary. The 1975 Jefferson nickel might seem humble, but its design, craftsmanship, and potential rarity make it a cornerstone for both new and seasoned collectors. We're diving deep into the story, history, and surprising value of the 1978 mint mark Jefferson nickel from the United States of America. So, if you have a handful of nickels lying around, it's time to take a closer look, because one of them could make you richer than you think. Let's take a trip back to the year 1978. America was in the middle of a decade filled with cultural shifts, economic changes, and technological innovation. Gas prices were climbing, disco ruled the radio, and the U.S. Mint was busy striking millions of coins for everyday circulation. Among these were the Jefferson nickels, small, silver-colored coins that many people barely noticed in their pocket change, but for collectors, every year tells a story. The 1978 Jefferson nickel has one too, a story about design, production, and the hidden gems that emerge from ordinary minting runs. Designed by Felix Schlag, the Jefferson nickel first appeared in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. Schlag's design featured a left-facing portrait of America's 3rd president, Thomas Jefferson, on the obverse side, and his famous Virginia home, Monticello, on the reverse. The design was meant to symbolize strength, simplicity, and the lasting spirit of American history. By 1978, this design had already been used for 4 decades, but that year's mintage brought some subtle differences and intriguing errors that would later capture collectors' attention. The U.S. Mint struck these nickels at 3 locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, marked with AD, and San Francisco, marked with an S, mostly for proof coins. Each of these versions tells a slightly different story. The Philadelphia Mint produced the largest number of 1978 nickels, with hundreds of millions entering circulation. The Denver Mint followed closely behind, while the San Francisco Mint focused on making high-quality proof coins intended for collectors rather than general circulation. Now, here's where things get interesting: the condition, mint mark, and even minor minting mistakes can turn a 5-cent coin into a valuable collectible. When we talk about value in coins, it's not just about age. It's about rarity, condition, and demand. A coin that was struck slightly off-center, doubled in its lettering, or has a visible die crack can become highly desirable among numismatists. The 1978 Jefferson nickel is no exception. Many collectors have found nickels from this year with fascinating errors: doubled dies where Jefferson's eye appears slightly duplicated, or full steps on the Monticello building, indicating a strong, sharp strike. These details may seem tiny, but to a collector, they can mean the difference between a coin worth a few cents and one worth hundreds of dollars. The full steps designation is particularly important. On the reverse of the coin, Monticello's steps often appear worn or weakly struck. But when you find a coin with all 6 steps clearly visible, you have something rare and valuable. That level of detail indicates that the coin was struck with fresh dies and great pressure, qualities collectors love. Another factor that determines the coin's worth is its grade, which refers to the coin's condition. Grading ranges from poor for a heavily worn coin to mint state for one that looks as if it just left the mint. A 1978 nickel found in circulation may show scratches or dull luster, while one kept untouched for decades could still gleam brightly, showing every line and curve of Jefferson's face. In higher grades, especially MS-65 and above, the 1978 Jefferson nickel becomes quite sought after. Mint state coins, particularly from the Denver Mint with a strong D mark and full step detail, have been known to fetch impressive prices at auctions. Collectors compete for them because finding such coins in pristine condition after more than 4 decades is extremely difficult, but the story doesn't stop at mint condition coins. Error coins from 1978 also play a huge role in their growing popularity. Some of the most eye-catching mistakes include off-center strikes, die cracks, clipped planchets, where a small portion of the coin is missing, and double die reverses. Each of these errors tells a story of imperfection, a unique accident that escaped the mint's quality control and made its way into circulation. Imagine holding a coin that not only carries history but also an accident from the very machines that made it, a frozen moment in time. That's the beauty of error coins, and the 1978 Jefferson nickel has quite a few examples that have amazed collectors for years. Another reason collectors are drawn to these coins is nostalgia. The Jefferson nickel design was one of the longest-running designs in U.S. coinage history, appearing for over 60 years before it was redesigned in 2004. For many Americans, the 1978 nickel represents a piece of their childhood, a reminder of simpler times when buying a soda or a candy bar with a few coins felt special. Now, let's take a moment to look closely at the coin's design details that make it timeless. On the obverse side, Jefferson's calm and thoughtful expression captures the dignity of the founding father who wrote the Declaration of Independence. Above his head, the word "Liberty" and the year 1978 are clearly struck, often separated by a small star. The mint mark, if present, appears on the right side, just below the date. The reverse features Monticello, Jefferson's neoclassical mansion in Charlottesville, Virginia. The design's symmetry, the columns, and the domed roof give the coin a sense of architectural beauty. Below it, you'll see the inscriptions E Pluribus Unum, Monticello, 5 cents, and United States of America. Together, these elements make the Jefferson nickel not only a piece of currency but a miniature work of art, one that celebrates both American history and craftsmanship. For collectors and treasure hunters, searching for these coins is like going on an adventure. Every coin tells a story, and you never know which one might turn out to be valuable. Many people have discovered rare Jefferson nickels in everyday change, old jars, or inherited coin collections. It's that thrill of discovery that keeps coin enthusiasts searching. In the case of the 1978 Jefferson nickel, its value depends heavily on where it was minted and its condition. Circulated examples usually hold only face value, but uncirculated or proof versions can bring much higher returns. Some of the finest known examples, graded by professional coin grading services, have sold for substantial amounts at auctions, and for those with a keen eye, the 1978 D nickel, the one struck at the Denver Mint, has proven to be particularly interesting. Certain varieties with exceptional details or unusual minting errors have broken price records, especially when certified in top mint state grades. Collectors often keep an eye out for coins stored in original mint sets from that year. These sets, sold by the U.S. Mint, include pristine examples of all the year's circulating coins, untouched and well preserved. If you have a 1978 mint set tucked away somewhere, it might be worth revisiting. Your Jefferson nickel could be hiding a small fortune in plain sight. Beyond value, the Jefferson nickel series carries historical weight. It survived multiple changes in metal composition, political eras, and design updates. From World War II's silver alloy nickels to the modernized 2000s editions, the series stands as a witness to America's evolving identity. The 1978 issue sits right in the middle of that journey, a bridge between the classic era and the modern one. What truly makes this coin fascinating is that it reminds us that not all treasures are golden. Sometimes, the smallest, most ordinary-looking coins can hold incredible worth when preserved or when struck under unusual circumstances. Coin collectors, or numismatists, often say that patience and curiosity are the keys to discovery. The 1978 Jefferson nickel proves this truth. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone with a jar of change, it pays to look closer. You might be holding something far more valuable than you ever imagined. And as interest in vintage U.S. coins continues to grow worldwide, coins like the 1978 nickel will only become more desirable. With each passing year, fewer of them remain in pristine condition, making high-grade survivors even rarer. So, if you ever come across a shiny 1978 Jefferson nickel, especially one with full steps, a Denver Mint mark, or any unusual feature, take the time to have it appraised. You might just discover that your humble nickel is worth more than you thought. This humble 5-cent piece, born in the late 1970s, represents far more than small change. It's a slice of history, a collectible work of art, and for the lucky few, a hidden treasure. So, sit back and stay tuned, because this isn't just a story about a 5-cent coin, it's a journey through American history, minting precision, and the treasures that sometimes hide in plain sight. The year 1980 was a unique period in American coinage. The U.S. Mint was operating full steam ahead, producing millions of coins to meet the nation's growing demand. At the Denver Mint, a large quantity of Jefferson nickels was struck with the D Mint mark. Most of these coins were meant for everyday use, vending machines, gas stations, and grocery stores. Yet among the countless nickels minted that year, a few rare specimens have captured the attention of collectors due to their exceptional quality, rare minting errors, and pristine conditions that make them worth far more than their face value. To understand why the 1980 D Jefferson nickel holds importance, we first need to look at its design and historical background. The Jefferson nickel series began in 1938, replacing the beloved Buffalo nickel. Designed by Felix Schlag, the obverse features a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, while the reverse shows his famous home, Monticello, located in Charlottesville, Virginia. This design has become one of the longest-running motifs in American coinage history, symbolizing both tradition and artistic simplicity. By 1980, the composition of the Jefferson nickel was 75% copper and 25% nickel, a blend that gave it strength and the classic silvery sheen collectors admire. The Denver Mint was responsible for striking millions of these coins, marked with the small letter D to the right of Jefferson's portrait, signifying their origin. But not all coins were struck equally. Some coins received more pressure from the dies, creating sharper details, while others suffered from slight errors during the minting process that now make them highly collectible. The average 1980 D Jefferson nickel in circulated condition may seem ordinary at first glance. It looks just like every other nickel you might find in your pocket change, worn, slightly dull, maybe with a few scratches from years of use. These common coins hold little more than face value. However, it's when you examine uncirculated examples, mint state coins, and error varieties that the story gets much more exciting. Collectors prize coins that have been preserved in pristine condition, often referred to as mint state. These coins show no signs of wear and retain their original luster, just as they looked when they left the mint over 4 decades ago. A 1980 Jefferson nickel graded MS65 or higher can be quite desirable, as it shows strong strike details on Jefferson's hair, sharp steps on Monticello, and a flawless surface. The rarer the grade, the higher the value, but what really sends collectors into a frenzy are the errors, those fascinating mistakes that occur during the minting process. Errors can include off-center strikes, double dies, die cracks, and planchet flaws. For the 1980 Jefferson nickel, certain double die obverse varieties and die breaks have been reported, making them far more valuable than standard examples. In some cases, these error nickels can command hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on the severity and rarity of the mistake. Now, let's talk about one of the key features that many collectors look for, the full steps designation. On the reverse of the Jefferson nickel, Monticello's steps are a fine detail that can be difficult to strike clearly. When a coin shows complete, uninterrupted lines on these steps, it earns the full steps label, often abbreviated as FS. Coins with this feature are incredibly sought after, as they demonstrate exceptional strike quality and precision. A 1980 Jefferson nickel with full steps in high mint state condition can skyrocket in value because of its rarity and eye appeal. Another aspect that affects a coin's value is toning, the natural coloration that develops over time as the metal reacts with the environment. Some collectors love beautifully toned coins with rainbow-like hues of blue, gold, and purple. These coins are unique pieces of art, each with its own personality. A 1980 nickel that has developed vibrant toning while remaining in mint condition can attract competitive bidding among enthusiasts who appreciate their natural beauty. The Jefferson nickel series has long been an affordable entry point for new collectors. It's a series that teaches the basics of mint marks, design variations, and grading, yet also offers incredible depth for those who pursue high-end rarities. The 1980 nickel, in particular, represents an era where the minting process was transitioning to more modern techniques, but still carried imperfections that today make certain examples highly collectible. For those who enjoy coin roll hunting, searching through rolls of nickels from banks or coin shops, finding a 1980 Jefferson nickel in excellent condition can be thrilling. It's not uncommon to find one in circulation, but discovering one with sharp details, brilliant luster, or a unique error can feel like uncovering a hidden treasure. Many collectors have started their numismatic journey with simple finds like this, only to discover the deeper world of rare and valuable coins hiding among the everyday change. To truly appreciate the 1980 Jefferson nickel, one must consider the story it tells about American craftsmanship and heritage. Each coin is a tiny metal canvas, showcasing the face of a founding father and his architectural masterpiece, struck by machines that represent American industry and progress. These coins connect generations, from the original mint workers in 1980 to today's collectors who preserve these pieces of history. When grading coins like this, experts use a scale developed by the Sheldon system, ranging from 1 to 70. The higher the grade, the more flawless the coin. Coins graded MS67 or MS68 are extremely scarce and command significant premiums. A small imperfection can mean the difference between a coin worth a few dollars and one worth hundreds. The 1980 Jefferson nickel, especially in these top grades, becomes a true prize in any collection. Over time, the demand for high-quality Jefferson nickels has only grown. Collectors are realizing that finding perfectly struck examples from the late 1970s and early 1980s is becoming increasingly difficult. Many of these coins were heavily circulated, while others suffered from weak strikes. So, if you happen to own a 1980 nickel that looks unusually sharp or flawless, it's worth taking a closer look. It might be far more valuable than you think. There's also an emotional element to collecting coins like the 1980 Jefferson nickel. These coins represent moments in history, the turn of a decade, the continuation of a classic design, and the enduring legacy of American coinage. Holding one in your hand connects you to the past, to the millions of people who have used nickels for everyday transactions, and to the dedicated collectors who have preserved them for future generations, the Jefferson nickel has been an American staple for over 80 years, and the 1980D issue stands as a reminder of that continuity. Each coin carries its own story, a mix of artistry, technology, and luck. Some remain humble 5-cent pieces, while others transform into remarkable treasures. And the thrill of discovering which one you have is what keeps collectors searching. That if you're interested in checking the value of your own 1980D Jefferson nickel, start by inspecting its condition. Look closely at Jefferson's cheek and hair for signs of wear. Examine Monticello's steps under good lighting. If the coin has no wear, brilliant luster, and possibly full steps, you might be holding a rare gem. For even more accuracy, sending your coin to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC can confirm its authenticity and grade, and that can make a world of difference in its market value. Throughout the years, stories have surfaced of ordinary people discovering valuable nickels hidden in plain sight, inside old jars, tucked away in drawers, or mixed with everyday change. The 1980D Jefferson nickel is one of those coins that can surprise you with its worth if it's in top condition or bears an unusual error. What might appear to be just another nickel could actually be a collector's dream coin waiting to be recognized. In the end, coin collecting isn't just about money, it's about discovery, appreciation, and connection. The 1980D Jefferson 5-cent nickel represents a perfect blend of all these elements. It captures a slice of American life, craftsmanship, and the enduring beauty of a simple. We're going to dive deep into the fascinating history, the unique characteristics, the design details, and most importantly, the incredible collector value that has made this ordinary pocket change worth a surprising fortune. So sit back and get ready for an exciting numismatic journey through time. The Jefferson nickel has long been one of the most beloved coins in U.S. circulation. First minted in 1938, it replaced the Buffalo nickel, bringing a fresh, modern portrait of the nation's third president, Thomas Jefferson. Designed by Felix Schlag, this coin featured a refined portrait of Jefferson on the obverse and his Virginia home, Monticello, on the reverse, both symbols of leadership and architectural beauty. Over the decades, the Jefferson nickel has witnessed America's evolving minting technology, composition changes, and countless design refinements. But the 1982 issue holds a very special place in that history. The year 1982 was one of transition and subtle change for the United States Mint. The country was still recovering from economic turbulence, inflation had reshaped metal prices, and coin production costs were being carefully watched. Although the nickel's composition, 75% copper and 25% nickel, remained unchanged, the mint was adjusting its machinery, dies, and quality control standards. It was also a year when the Philadelphia Mint began emphasizing the P mint mark more prominently on several denominations, solidifying its identity for collectors. The 1982 P Jefferson nickel may look like an ordinary coin, but to the trained eye, it holds several distinguishing traits that make certain varieties extremely desirable. One of the main attractions of this year's issue lies in die variations and minting errors. Some examples from the Philadelphia Mint display striking irregularities like double die obverse details, off-center strikes, or unusually weak strikes caused by worn dies. These subtle imperfections, invisible to the casual observer, can turn an ordinary 5-cent coin into a collectible treasure. Collectors often look closely at the Jefferson portrait, particularly the eye, mouth, and the lettering on "In God We Trust." On some 1982 nickels, doubling can be noticed on these inscriptions, adding great interest for those who appreciate die errors. The reverse side, showing Monticello, can also reveal fascinating flaws such as missing steps, known as the full steps variety, which is one of the most sought-after designations in Jefferson nickels. The full steps variety means that the details on the steps leading up to Monticello are clearly defined and completely visible. Because of striking pressure and die wear, very few coins achieve this perfection, and when they do, collectors are willing to pay significant premiums. Another element that adds to the appeal of the 1982 P nickel is its mint condition rarity. Although millions of these coins were struck for circulation, very few survived the wear and tear of daily use. Finding one in pristine, uncirculated condition, especially with sharp details and full luster, is becoming more difficult as decades pass. Coins that have been preserved in mint rolls or proof sets are now considered exceptional finds. What truly elevates the 1982 P. Jefferson nickel from ordinary to extraordinary, however, is the growing attention it has received in the modern collector market. As more enthusiasts study post-1960 coinage, the hidden gems of the late 20th century are being uncovered. The Jefferson series has long been underappreciated, overshadowed by older silver coins, but the numismatic community has begun to recognize the rarity and value of high-grade examples like this one. Imagine finding one of these 1982 nickels in your change jar or an old coin roll. At first glance, it's just 5 cents, smooth nickel sheen, a little dull from age, Jefferson's calm face still recognizable. But under magnification and expert examination, it could reveal die cracks, doubling, or near-perfect full steps, instantly raising its value from 5 cents to hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on condition and grading. That's the magic of numismatics, turning small discoveries into major rewards. Let's take a closer look at the design details that make this coin such a masterpiece of simplicity. On the obverse, Jefferson's left-facing bust conveys dignity and wisdom. The inscriptions, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date, 1982, frame his portrait. Just beside the date, you'll find the letter P, indicating it was minted in Philadelphia. Though the P mint mark was used earlier on nickels during World War II, it officially returned to stay on all Philadelphia-struck nickels starting in 1980. So the 1982 P nickel represents one of the early years of consistent use of this mint mark, making it historically significant to the series. Turning to the reverse, Monticello, Jefferson's neoclassical home in Virginia, is depicted in all its architectural beauty. The details of the dome, columns, and steps are elegantly captured. Above the building is the word E pluribus unum, Latin for, out of many, one, while below it appear Monticello, 5 cents, and United States of America. Every element was carefully crafted to represent both Jefferson's legacy and America's ideals. In the grading world, the condition of a coin is everything. Coins are graded on a 70-point scale, from poor, P1, to perfect mint state, MS, 70. A circulated 1982 P nickel in average condition might be worth only face value. However, those that achieve grades above MS, 65, particularly with full steps on Monticello, can command much higher prices. Coins certified by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC have been known to attract significant collector competition at auctions. Let's talk about what makes the market value for this coin rise so high. There are 3 key factors: rarity, condition, and demand. The Philadelphia Mint struck hundreds of millions of nickels that year, but only a small fraction meet the strict criteria collectors seek. Over the years, many have been damaged, worn down, or simply lost, reducing the available supply of high-quality examples. As collectors realize how scarce top-grade coins have become, demand naturally drives prices upward. In the coin collecting community, 1982 marks a period of transition and technical experimentation, adding another layer of intrigue. The mint's equipment and die preparation methods were evolving, leading to variations that now fascinate experts. These transitional quirks have turned ordinary coins from the 1980s into valuable collectibles, especially when authenticated and well-preserved. Another interesting aspect is that nickels from this period have withstood 4 decades of circulation, environmental exposure, and human handling. Finding one that has remained untouched, maintaining its original mint brilliance, is almost like discovering a time capsule, a piece of 1980s America perfectly frozen in metal form. It's not just about the money, it's about the story that coin carries, a silent witness to American life, change, and progress. When collectors seek out the 1982 P. Jefferson nickel, they're not just chasing profit, they're preserving history. Each coin represents a tangible link to America's numismatic and cultural past. Whether found in a collection, a family drawer, or a lucky pocket change discovery, this coin reminds us that even small denominations can hold immense historical and emotional value. Today, the coin market is more vibrant than ever, with online auctions, collector forums, and grading services bringing new attention to classic designs like the Jefferson nickel. Some of the finest examples of the 1982 P mint mark nickels have appeared in prestigious sales, where sharp-eyed collectors recognize their significance. In some rare instances, these coins have commanded shockingly high prices due to their impeccable condition, die errors, or exceptional eye appeal. So, why are these coins becoming so desirable now? The answer lies in both nostalgia and opportunity. As time marches on, coins from the 1980s are no longer considered modern by collectors, they're vintage. The generation that grew up with these coins in their pockets now sees them as cherished memories of youth. Meanwhile, younger collectors are drawn by the challenge of completing Jefferson nickel sets and discovering overlooked varieties. It's the perfect storm of passion and rarity driving values to new heights. Every collector dreams of finding that one special coin that changes everything, a small piece of metal that tells a big story. The 1982 P. Jefferson 5-cent nickel captures that dream beautifully. It represents American craftsmanship, subtle minting quirks, and the thrill of discovery that keeps coin collecting alive and exciting. We're diving deep into the incredible world of the United States of America 1988 D. Jefferson 5-cent nickel coin. This unassuming little coin might seem like just another nickel, but its story, history, and collector's value make it one of the most interesting coins you could ever hold in your hand. So get ready, because by the end of this video, you might just find yourself checking every 1988 D nickel you own. Who knows, it could be the one that changes your life. Let's start with the fascinating history behind this coin. The Jefferson nickel was first introduced in 1938, replacing the beloved Buffalo nickel. Designed by Felix Schlag, a German-American sculptor, this coin honored one of the most iconic founding fathers of the United States, Thomas Jefferson, the principal author of the Declaration of Independence and the third President of the United States. The 1988 D. Jefferson nickel carries the same classic design that Americans have cherished for decades. On the obverse side, you'll find a left-facing portrait of Jefferson, looking dignified and thoughtful. Above his head are the words, "In God We Trust," while to the left sits the word, "Liberty," followed by the date 1988. To the right of the date, you'll notice the small D mint mark, signifying that this coin was struck at the Denver Mint. On the reverse side, the design continues to impress with an image of Jefferson's home, Monticello, a neoclassical architectural masterpiece located in Virginia. The word Monticello appears prominently below the image, along with the motto E pluribus unum, which means, out of many, one, symbolizing the unity of the states. Beneath Monticello are the denomination, 5 cents, and the words, United States of America. Each tiny detail was carefully sculpted to convey history, pride, and American craftsmanship, and that's part of what makes collecting Jefferson nickels so enjoyable. In 1988, the Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of Jefferson nickels. But even in that massive mintage, some stand out due to their condition, errors, or unique minting quirks. These are the nickels that can turn ordinary pocket change into extraordinary treasure. The Denver Mint, known for its precision and efficiency, struck countless coins that year. Yet as every collector knows, perfection isn't always possible in mass production. Sometimes, tiny minting errors occur, and these errors, though small, can skyrocket a coin's value in the eyes of collectors. That's exactly where the 1988 D. Jefferson nickel story gets interesting. One of the key reasons that certain 1988 D. Jefferson nickels are so valuable is because of mint errors. These mistakes might include off-center strikes, double dies, die cracks, or even planchet issues. Collectors go absolutely crazy for these varieties because they are literally one of a kind. Imagine finding a nickel with Jefferson's face doubled or slightly shifted, or perhaps the reverse design misaligned so that part of Monticello disappears off the edge of the coin. These rare errors aren't just cool to look at, they're worth real money. Now, let's talk about one of the most crucial factors in determining a coin's value, its grade. Grading is essentially the process of assessing a coin's condition, and it ranges from poor, P1, to mint state, MS70. The higher the grade, the higher the value. Most 1988 D. Jefferson nickels in circulation will show signs of wear, scratches, dullness, and fading details. These typically hold face value or slightly more. But if you come across one in uncirculated or near perfect condition, that's where things get exciting. Collectors and professional grading services like PCGS and NGC use detailed standards to judge the sharpness of the strike, luster, and absence of marks. A 1988 D nickel graded MS 65 or higher with full steps visible on Monticello, can be worth hundreds, even thousands, of dollars depending on demand and rarity. The term full steps refers to how completely the steps on Monticello are visible. It's a major premium factor in Jefferson nickel grading. So where might you find one of these valuable coins? The good news is that Jefferson nickels are still in circulation, and that means your next trip to the bank or grocery store might hold a hidden treasure. Coin roll hunting, searching through rolls of nickels from the bank, is a popular and affordable way to search for gems like the 1988 D nickel. Collectors often check for the full steps variety under magnification. Lighting and angle matter, so use a bright light source and a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to inspect the details carefully. If you're lucky enough to spot a coin with full steps, minimal wear, and no damage, you may have something very special on your hands. The Jefferson nickel is more than just currency, it's a piece of history, a tangible symbol of American ideals. Every time you look at Jefferson's profile, you're reminded of the values of liberty, intellect, and vision that helped shape the United States. The Monticello on the reverse isn't just a building, it represents innovation, architecture, and the pursuit of beauty in everyday life. Collectors often describe the Jefferson series as the perfect blend of artistry and history. Each mint year tells a story about the economy, the minting technology, and the people who used those coins in their daily lives. The 1988 D nickel, struck during a time of modern change and economic growth, captures a snapshot of late 20th century America. What makes this specific year, 1988 D, so appealing to collectors? For one, it marks a period of strong production quality but also the tail end of a design era before certain updates and modifications in the 1990s. The Denver Mint's striking quality was impressive, but minor variations between dies have made some examples especially sought after. Additionally, nickels from the 1980s have become increasingly collectible because many people overlooked them for years. As a result, high-grade examples are harder to find today. Most have been spent, scratched, or lost, leaving only a small number of pristine survivors. When you combine that scarcity with the growing popularity of Jefferson nickel collecting, you get a recipe for increasing value over time. That if you happen to own a 1988 D Jefferson nickel that looks uncirculated or unique, don't handle it too much. The oils on your fingers can damage the surface. Always use cotton gloves or hold it by the edges. Store your coins in protective holders or certified slabs to prevent oxidation and scratches. Never try to clean your coin, even if it looks dirty. Cleaning can drastically reduce its value because it alters the natural patina and microscopic details that grading experts look for. Instead, keep it safe, keep it dry, and consider getting it graded by a reputable service if you believe it might be worth more than face value. The Jefferson nickel market has been steadily growing in recent years. Collectors appreciate the challenge of finding high-grade examples and full-step varieties. Many enthusiasts are even building complete sets, one from each year and mint mark, which increases demand for well-preserved coins like the 1988 D. Auction houses and online marketplaces like eBay, Heritage Auctions, and Stack's Bowers regularly see bidding wars for top-grade examples. A combination of condition, rarity, and the thrill of competition drives prices upward. And because Jefferson nickels are part of a long-running American coin series, their appeal spans generations, from seasoned numismatists to new hobbyists who just discovered the joy of collecting. Every collector dreams of that magical moment, the time when you flip a coin in your hand and realize you've struck gold, metaphorically speaking. That's the excitement of coin collecting. The 1988 D. Jefferson nickel reminds us that treasures still exist in everyday life. You don't need to dig up a pirate chest or own an ancient relic to experience history and value. Sometimes, it's hiding in your change jar. This coin teaches patience, observation, and appreciation for small details, qualities that define every great collector. Whether you're hunting through rolls, attending a coin show, or browsing online auctions, keep your eyes peeled. You never know when you'll come across a flawless 1988 D nickel waiting to reveal its worth. Video, we're going to explore one of the most overlooked yet truly interesting coins from modern American history, the 1998 P. Jefferson 5-cent nickel. This seemingly ordinary 5-cent coin, which many people have probably spent without a second thought, could actually be worth far more than its face value. Some rare examples have been known to fetch thousands of dollars in the collector's market due to unique errors, pristine conditions, and other numismatic factors. So, sit tight and stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you'll discover how a coin that most of us might ignore could secretly hold an incredible hidden fortune. The Jefferson nickel series began in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel, and has been a cornerstone of American pocket change for decades. It was designed by Felix Schlag, who captured the dignified portrait of the third President of the United States, Thomas Jefferson, on the obverse, while his iconic Virginia home, Monticello, decorates the reverse. Schlag's design remained largely unchanged for over 6 decades, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history before its redesign in the early 2000s. The 1998 P. Jefferson nickel belongs to the later years of that classic design era, making it one of the final issues before the modern design updates took hold. The P mint mark indicates it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, one of the busiest mints in the country, known for producing billions of circulating coins every year. While the 1998 P nickel might appear to be an ordinary piece of currency, coin collectors know that certain 1998 nickels can be extremely valuable depending on condition, strike quality, and minting errors. In 1998, the Philadelphia Mint produced an impressive number of Jefferson nickels, hundreds of millions of them. Because of this high mintage, finding one in circulation today isn't too difficult. However, the real challenge lies in locating one in exceptional condition or with rare errors. The coin's composition consists of 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving it that familiar silvery color and durability that has kept it in use for decades. Each coin measures 21.2 millimeters in diameter and weighs exactly 5 grams. Despite these standard measurements, variations and striking inconsistencies sometimes occurred during minting, and those slight deviations are exactly what can transform an everyday coin into something worth thousands. The obverse, or front side, of the coin proudly displays the left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, accompanied by the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty." Just beside the word "Liberty," you can spot the date 1998, followed by the small letter P, signifying that it was minted in Philadelphia. Flip the coin to the reverse side, and you'll find the beautifully detailed depiction of Jefferson's famous estate, Monticello. Above it, the word E pluribus unum, meaning, out of many, one, serves as a reminder of America's unity. Below Monticello, the words 5 cents and United States of America are clearly engraved. Although these features might seem ordinary, collectors pay close attention to the sharpness of these details, as well-struck examples display impressive clarity that adds to their value. Now you might be wondering, what makes this specific 1998 P nickel so desirable? The answer lies in a combination of rarity, error varieties, and superb condition. Coins that were struck with perfect alignment and possess full details on Jefferson's portrait and Monticello's columns are known as full steps nickels. These are extremely rare and highly sought after by collectors. The full steps designation refers to the clearly defined steps visible on Monticello's base. In most circulated nickels, these steps are either worn down or weakly struck, but when you find a coin that shows every step with crisp separation, it becomes a true gem. Such coins, when graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC in high mint state grades, can bring impressive prices at auction point. One of the most exciting aspects of coin collecting is discovering mint errors, those accidental variations that occurred during production. The 1998 P. Jefferson nickel is known to have a few interesting error types that can greatly increase its value. Some of these include double die obverse errors, where Jefferson's image or the lettering appears slightly doubled due to a misalignment during the striking process. Another error type found in some 1998 nickels involves off-center strikes, where the design is not properly centered on the coin, leaving blank or distorted areas. There are also instances of broad-struck nickels, where the coin expands beyond its normal rim, creating a wider, flattened edge. Even more intriguing are die cracks and die chips, which appear as raised lines or bumps on the surface caused by worn or damaged minting equipment. These small imperfections can make your 1998 P nickel unique and desirable to error coin enthusiasts. Before determining the value of any coin, collectors and investors first look at its grade. Coin grading is a standardized system used to assess the condition and quality of a coin, ranging from poor to perfect mint state. For modern coins like the 1998 P. Jefferson nickel, grading can make an enormous difference in value. A circulated coin that's been through years of use might only be worth its face value, 5 cents. However, a coin preserved in pristine uncirculated condition, with bright luster and minimal marks, can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Coins graded MS-67 or MS-68 by reputable grading services are especially prized, as they represent near-perfect strikes with flawless surfaces. Over the years, several 1998 P. Jefferson nickels have appeared in auctions, surprising collectors with their unexpectedly high prices. Some of the best examples with the full steps designation have commanded thousands of dollars. What makes these coins so special is their combination of rarity, flawless condition, and visual appeal. Imagine having a nickel that looks brand new, with every tiny detail perfectly defined, even after more than 2 decades. Collectors pay top dollar for such quality because it represents the finest example of craftsmanship from that minting year. What's truly exciting about coins like the 1998 P. Jefferson nickel is that they could still be hiding in plain sight. Many people unknowingly have valuable coins sitting in jars, drawers, or coin rolls at home. Because nickels are durable and circulate for decades, there's always a small chance that you might stumble upon a valuable one while going through your loose change. To start searching, all you need is a magnifying glass and a little patience. Look closely at the date and mint mark. Then, examine the details on Monticello, especially the steps. If they're sharp and complete, you might be holding something quite special. Also, check for any doubling, off-center designs, or unusual markings. These could indicate an error that makes your coin rare and valuable. Although the 1998 P. Jefferson nickel isn't as old as some of America's classic coins, it still holds an important place in U.S. coinage history. It represents the end of an era before major design changes began appearing in the 2000s. Collectors often view the late 1990s nickels as modern classics, coins that bridge the gap between traditional design and modern minting technology. The Philadelphia Mint, where this coin was struck, has a long and storied history dating back to the earliest days of the nation's coinage. By 1998, the mint had fully embraced advanced minting techniques, producing coins with remarkable precision. However, even with such advancements, occasional striking variations still occurred, making each unique era coin a snapshot of minting history. For dedicated numismatists, the 1998 P. Jefferson nickel offers both nostalgia and opportunity. Many collectors focus on building complete sets of Jefferson nickels by year and mint mark, striving to include the elusive full steps examples. Finding a high-grade 1998 P nickel with strong details is like completing a puzzle. It's rewarding and exciting. Even casual collectors appreciate the coin's charm. Its classic portrait of Jefferson, the historical connection to Monticello, and the durability of its design make it an enduring symbol of American craftsmanship. As time goes on, coins like these will only become scarcer in top condition, pushing their values even higher. We're going to explore one of the most intriguing and collectible coins from modern times, the 2007 P. Jefferson 5-cent nickel. At first glance, it may look like just another coin you'd find jingling in your pocket change, but when you look closer, you'll discover that some of these coins are worth much more than their face value. In fact, one rare and special variety of this coin has amazed collectors with its uniqueness and rarity, leading it to be valued at a staggering $20,275. Yes, you heard that right, a simple nickel from 2007 could be worth thousands of dollars depending on its condition, rarity, and minting details. So sit back, relax, and let's uncover the fascinating story behind the 2007 P. Jefferson nickel. From its design and history to the rare errors that make it worth so much money today, the Jefferson nickel is one of the most recognized coins in the United States. It has been circulating since 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. The design features the portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, and the author of the Declaration of Independence. For decades, this 5-cent coin has carried his face and his legacy. The reverse side shows his famous home, Monticello, located in Virginia. The 2007 P. Jefferson nickel was minted in Philadelphia, indicated by the P mint mark. This was part of the ongoing series that started after the Westward Journey designs of 2004 and 2005, which temporarily changed the reverse to honor the Lewis and Clark expedition. By 2006, the mint returned to the traditional Monticello reverse, but with a modernized obverse featuring a more detailed and forward-facing portrait of Jefferson. The 2007 P nickel, therefore, represents the first few years of this refreshed design, a bridge between the classic and modern eras of U.S. coinage. The obverse side of the 2007 Jefferson nickel features a bold, lifelike image of President Thomas Jefferson facing forward. This newer design replaced the older left-facing portrait that had been used for nearly 7 decades. The word "Liberty," in Jefferson's own handwriting, is beautifully curved along the right side, giving the coin a personal and historic touch. The reverse side shows Monticello, Jefferson's Grand Virginia home, designed with more precision than ever before. The inscriptions, E pluribus unum, Monticello, 5 cents, and United States of America, surround the building. Each coin is made of 75% copper and 25% nickel, measuring 21.2 millimeters in diameter and weighing exactly 5 grams. Though small, its craftsmanship and symbolism carry immense national pride and artistic value. In 2007, the Philadelphia Mint produced hundreds of millions of these nickels for circulation. While that might sound like a lot, it's important to understand that only a small fraction of them are in perfect or near perfect condition today. Many coins were used in everyday transactions, which caused wear and scratches over time. For collectors, condition is everything. The difference between a coin worth 5 cents and one worth thousands. The 2007 P. Jefferson nickel was also struck with high precision in proof and special collector sets. These proof coins were minted with mirror-like finishes and frosted designs, intended for coin enthusiasts rather than circulation. But even among regular coins, there are rare examples that stand out, due to minting errors, die varieties, or simply flawless condition. What makes some 2007 P. Jefferson nickels so valuable? The answer lies in rarity and minting errors. Coin errors can occur during production, and they make certain coins unique, and that uniqueness drives collector demand. Some of the rare 2007 P nickels feature off-center strikes, where part of the design is missing because the coin wasn't properly aligned when struck. Others might have double die errors, where the lettering or parts of the design appear doubled due to misalignment during the minting process. There are also examples with die cracks, filled dies, or missing mint marks. Collectors also value coins with a full, sharp strike, meaning all details, especially on Jefferson's face and Monticello, are crisp and clear. A perfectly struck 2007 P. Jefferson nickel with no visible wear or flaws can achieve a very high grade from professional coin grading services like PCGS or NGC. When determining a coin's value, grading is the most important factor. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 representing a perfect, flawless coin. Most 2007 P nickels found in circulation would fall between grades 20 and 60, depending on wear. However, those that have never been used, showing no signs of handling and perfect mint luster, can receive grades of MS67 or higher. A 2007 P. Jefferson nickel graded MS67 or MS68 can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars, especially if it's certified by PCGS or NGC. When you combine a high grade with a rare mint error, the coin's value skyrockets. The Jefferson nickel series remains one of the most popular among U.S. coin collectors. Many people begin their coin collecting journey with nickels, since they're affordable, widely available, and full of history. The 2007 P. Jefferson nickel is especially appealing because it represents the modern era of the series while still maintaining the traditional Monticello design. Collectors often seek nickels from all years and mint marks: Philadelphia, P, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. For the 2007 series, the Philadelphia Mint coins tend to be slightly scarcer in top condition compared to Denver issues. Over time, the value of coins like the 2007 P. Jefferson nickel depends heavily on collector demand and market trends. In recent years, the interest in modern era coins has grown significantly. As collectors look for unique and flawless examples, prices have increased. A coin that might have been worth only a few dollars a decade ago could now be worth hundreds or more in pristine condition. Experts believe that as time passes, high-quality 2007 P. Jefferson nickels will become even rarer because most coins continue to wear down through circulation. So, if you happen to find one in excellent condition or with a visible mint error, it could be a smart idea to have it professionally graded and preserved. If you're wondering where to find valuable nickels like this, the best place to start is your own pocket change or coin jar. Many rare coins are discovered by ordinary people who simply pay attention. You can also check rolls of nickels from banks, as they often contain hidden gems. Look carefully under bright light or with a magnifying glass to spot any unusual features, doubling, or off-center details. Another great source is coin shows or online marketplaces where collectors trade coins. But always make sure you buy from a reputable dealer or seller who provides certification from trusted grading companies. If you happen to own or find a 2007 Jefferson nickel in pristine condition, it's important to store it properly to preserve its value. Avoid touching the coin's surface with bare hands. Instead, use soft cotton gloves. Oils and dirt from your fingers can damage the coin's surface and reduce its grade. Keep coins in a cool, dry environment away from direct sunlight. Use coin holders, flips, or airtight capsules made from materials that won't damage the metal. If you have a truly valuable piece, consider having it professionally encapsulated by a grading service for protection and authentication. Thomas Jefferson's image on the nickel symbolizes not just his presidency but his enduring legacy as a thinker, inventor, and author of liberty. Each nickel bearing his likeness represents a piece of American history, and that's one reason collectors are so passionate about this series. When the U.S. Mint modernized the design in 2006, it aimed to reflect Jefferson's forward-thinking spirit. The 2007 nickel continued that tradition, becoming a bridge between classic numismatic artistry and modern precision. Collectors appreciate the 2007 nickel for several reasons: its clean, modern design, its transitional historical value, and its potential for hidden rarity. It's a coin that marks the continuation of Jefferson's legacy while introducing subtle refinements in detail and craftsmanship. And because it's still relatively modern, it's affordable for new collectors to start building a collection around it. However, those who pay close attention, and have a bit of luck, might discover one of those rare, mint-condition examples that turn an ordinary nickel into a treasure worth thousands. That thrill of discovery is what keeps collectors searching. Did you know the Jefferson nickel is one of the longest-running coin series in U.S. history? It's been in continuous production since 1938. Over the years, it has seen multiple design updates but always kept Jefferson and Monticello as its central themes. Another fun fact: the mint struck billions of nickels in the 2000s, yet only a few are known to have perfect mint strikes. This makes those flawless examples extremely sought after by coin enthusiasts worldwide. Today's story takes us into the world of modern nickels, specifically, the 2021 D. Jefferson 5-cent nickel coin. While many people may overlook this small coin as just another common piece of change, what most don't realize is that even a coin minted as recently as 2021 can have hidden treasures, errors, and values that may surprise you. So, grab your magnifying glass, and let's dive into the journey of the 2021 D. Jefferson nickel, a coin that continues to spark curiosity and excitement among collectors everywhere. The 2021 D. Jefferson nickel is a remarkable piece of American history, produced at the Denver Mint, one of the most active and historically significant mints in the U.S. system. It's a coin that may seem ordinary at first glance, but for collectors who understand its background, variations, and minting process, it represents much more than just 5 cents. It tells a story of design evolution, craftsmanship, and even the occasional mistake that turns an ordinary coin into something worth a fortune. The Jefferson nickel has been part of American coinage since 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel that came before it. The original design was created by sculptor Felix Schlag, whose artistic vision brought Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, to the forefront of the 5-cent piece. On the obverse side, we see Jefferson's portrait facing left, a strong and dignified image that symbolizes his leadership and his legacy in shaping the young nation. On the reverse, we find Monticello, Jefferson's beautiful Virginia estate, which has become one of the most recognizable images in all of U.S. coinage. Over the decades, the design has undergone some changes to modernize the look, enhance details, and commemorate Jefferson's contributions. In 2006, the U.S. Mint introduced a new design by Jamie Franke, featuring a forward-facing Jefferson portrait, the one still used today. The 2021 D nickel carries this design, showcasing Jefferson in a more lifelike and modern artistic style. Now, when it comes to the Denver Mint, this facility has a reputation for producing billions of coins every year with the D Mint mark clearly stamped. But not all nickels come out identical, and that's where the fun begins for collectors. The differences, sometimes so small that they're visible only under magnification, can determine whether your coin is worth 5 cents or hundreds, even thousands of dollars. Each nickel from this year weighs about 5 grams and is made of a composition that includes 75% copper and 25% nickel, a formula that has remained unchanged for decades. The diameter measures 21.21 millimeters, and the coin has a plain edge. While these numbers may sound standard, each element plays an important role in identifying minting errors, especially when something goes slightly off during production. In 2021, the Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of Jefferson nickels. But despite such a massive number, certain coins stood out due to unusual features, such as double die errors, misaligned dies, weak strikes, off-center strikes, and even die cracks. One of the most famous types of error in the 2021 D Jefferson nickel is the double die obverse. In this variety, certain features on Jefferson's face, especially around his eye or lips, appear doubled when examined under magnification. The words, "In God We Trust" or "Liberty" may also show signs of doubling. These double die errors occur when the coin die itself gets improperly impressed with the design more than once at slightly different angles. When struck on a coin, it leaves a doubled image, a collector's dream. Another variety worth looking for is the off-center strike. This happens when the blank planchet, the metal disc that becomes the coin, is not perfectly centered under the die during striking. The result is a coin where part of the design is missing, and a portion of the blank metal remains visible. Depending on how off-center the strike is, the coin's value can increase dramatically. Then there's the die crack error, small raised lines or lumps that appear when a die starts to break down from overuse. These cracks can form on Jefferson's portrait, near the edge of the coin, or across Monticello on the reverse side. While these might look like imperfections to some, collectors often prize them for their uniqueness. Another rare and valuable variety is the full steps designation. On the reverse side of the Jefferson nickel, look closely at the steps of Monticello. A coin that shows all 6 steps clearly and without wear or weak strikes is referred to as a full steps nickel, often abbreviated as FS. These coins are highly sought after because they indicate a strong, precise strike from a well-prepared die. In the world of Jefferson nickels, the full steps variety has become one of the most respected indicators of quality and rarity. When determining the value of a 2021 D Jefferson nickel, condition is everything. Collectors use the Sheldon coin grading scale, which ranges from 1 to 70. A circulated coin, which has been used in everyday transactions, typically grades anywhere from very good, VG, to extremely fine, EF. These coins usually have some signs of wear, dull surfaces, and loss of sharp detail. Uncirculated coins, on the other hand, range from mint state 60 to MS 70. These coins have never been used and retain their original mint luster. Even small differences in luster, color, or contact marks can make a huge difference in price. For example, an MS 67 or MS 68 coin can be many times more valuable than one graded MS 64, even though both appear nearly perfect to the naked eye. Coin grading companies like PCGS and NGC play an important role here. If you believe you have a rare 2021 D nickel in excellent condition, having it professionally graded can help confirm its authenticity and maximize its resale value. Another interesting aspect of the 2021 D nickel is its place in modern coin collecting. Many collectors are turning their attention to newer coins, recognizing that error coins from the 2000s and 2020s are becoming harder to find in circulation as technology improves at the mints. However, mistakes still happen, and when they do, the resulting coins can become highly valuable over time. So, if you happen to find a 2021 D Jefferson nickel in your pocket change or coin jar, take a few minutes to inspect it. Check for sharpness of detail, doubling, or off-center designs. If it looks slightly different from others, you may have something special. In recent years, several 2021 D nickels with clear doubling and minting errors have been discovered and sold for impressive prices at auctions. Some of these coins, depending on condition and rarity, fetched hundreds or even thousands of dollars from eager collectors who specialize in modern-era coins. This trend proves that even coins less than a few years old can carry substantial value in the numismatic world. Collectors are also paying attention to first strike coins, coins that were among the first minted with new dies. These are often sharply detailed and have cleaner surfaces. Grading services sometimes certify these as first strike, and they often command premium prices in the market. Let's not forget that the Jefferson nickel is one of the most collected coin series in America. Its long history, affordable entry point, and occasional surprises make it perfect for beginners and experts alike. Many collectors enjoy filling albums with every year and mint mark combination, from the early wartime nickels made of silver to modern designs like the 2021 D. The value of your coin doesn't only depend on rarity or condition, timing also plays a role. As the years go by, coins that are now considered common can become scarce as they are taken out of circulation, damaged, or lost. The 2021 D nickel might seem abundant today, but in 20 or 30 years, pristine examples could become much harder to find, increasing their market value. For anyone who wants to start collecting Jefferson nickels, the 2021 D is a great coin to begin with. It represents the continuing story of American coinage and the craftsmanship of the Denver Mint. Whether you're looking to collect for fun or invest for profit, understanding the small details that make each coin unique is key. Let's take a moment to appreciate the artistry of this coin once more. On the obverse, Jefferson's expression is calm yet determined, reflecting his vision and dedication to the nation's founding principles. The inscription, "In God We Trust," sits boldly to his right, while "Liberty" and the year 2021 are placed in a flowing script, maintaining the elegant design introduced in the 2000s. The small D mint mark near the date quietly tells the story of where this coin was born, in Denver, Colorado, a mint with over a century of history in American coin production. So, next time you come across a 2021 D Jefferson nickel, take a moment before spending it. Examine it carefully under good lighting, look for sharp steps on Monticello, study the fine details of Jefferson's portrait, and search for any signs of doubling or striking errors. You never know, that small coin might be worth far more than 5 cents.